Minutes to 9. When the X Factor contestant Ben Haenow was a van driver in London, he'd often find himself weaving through rush hour traffic, window down, radio turned up, singing to shoppers on Oxford Street.
Well, now he's doing it in front of a studio audience of millions and millions of viewers. We're going to talk to him in a moment. First, here are some of his X Factor highlights. Welcome.
Thank you, thanks for having me.
Enjoying watching yourself there?
Not always, no, it's a bit cringe sometimes to watch yourself
Really?
back, but yeah.
Really, why?
Why?
I don't know, just like, it's difficult to kind of watch yourself perform sometimes because you pick up on all the bits that you think you did wrong.
So you're critical more than embarrassed?
Absolutely,
Right,
yeah,
right.
definitely.
If this was a horse race, you'd have started with a furlong lead over everybody else, because right from the get-go, Simon Cowell said, I'm really surprised you haven't got a record deal already.
Yeah,
you know, because you're that good.
Blown away by that, absolutely. Don't expect something like that to come out of Simon Cowell's mouth. I was expecting criticism and stuff like that, really, but to have him say that was just unbelievable.
But that must make you feel much more confident.
Yeah, definitely, but it puts a bit of pressure on, you know, when you want to improve every week and you want to keep getting those good comments, and sometimes to start with great comments you think the only way is down. So, but yeah, it's great. It was really, really amazing for him to say something like that.
It's interesting, isn't it, how you play it when you've been given so much support by such a major character in the series. We were talking to the Strictly contestants not so long ago, and they were saying if you're too popular...
we mustn't mention them in the same breath, but never mind, it's all right.
Done now.
Too late.
Never mind. But the problem being is that when you're that popular or seen, as Bill said, you know, to be a furlong in front in the horse race, so to speak, the people think, oh, well, he's going to be here next week, I won't vote, you know, and then you've got to balance that, haven't you?
There is that, yeah, and you just, you know, I think that's the thing, that you always need the votes, do you know what I mean? You can't really get complacent with it, and like I say, when you start with those sort of comments, the pressure is on to...
I wonder, though, you've got a girlfriend.
I have.
Of 6 years.
I have indeed.
So hearts could be breaking across the country at this moment in time. But it's not usual that you hear that from the male soloist, because that's part of the charm, isn't it? And women, obviously, a lot of women watch X Factor.
Yeah, of course, but I think you've got people like, and not comparing myself at all in any way to David Beckham, but you've got where Beckham's obviously married and stuff, and people still, you know what I mean, he's still got admirers and fans and stuff, so I don't think it really gets in the way. But by no means am I comparing myself to David Beckham.
Let's get that very straight. You had a great start. Let's have a look at your first audition. In week one they do still, but there has been a little bit made of the sort of differences of opinion that you've had with Mel B, who's actually sort of been very straightforward with her critique. She said once you hadn't chosen the right song, and that you need to give a bit more of yourself, and that's all constructive criticism. And then once you said you need to man up a bit more. But it's so easy for those things to get blown out of proportion in a competition like this, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is, but you know, you've got to keep sight that, like you say, it is a competition, and people are, you know, you put yourself on that platform to be judged not only by the judges but by the viewers that are watching, and kind of anybody else who wishes to throw their opinion at you. So, you know, you've got to be ready to take the good with the bad, and you know, particularly like you say, constructive criticism and stuff like that from those judges, I think is a really good thing going forward, and trying to develop me as a musician and artist, really.
We spoke about you driving your van around and singing and entertaining perhaps the shoppers in Oxford Street. Do you miss it?
Yeah, I definitely miss the freedom of driving around.
Because it's freedom of expression then, isn't it? There's no judgment at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, people occasionally judge me when I'm going past them, but they only literally hear like that as I go past. So yeah, I do miss the freedom of driving around in a van.
What was it like being in the house then? It was quite crowded to begin with. Did you feel sort of claustrophobic, having been, you know, sort of home on the range in the van, if you like?
Yeah, you don't get much time to yourself. You know, you get it is quite crowded in there. But to be honest, I've made such good friends with a lot of people in there. You know, you don't expect to get on with everybody, but we're all kind of really supportive. And living with people that are all aspiring to do the same thing is quite inspiring in itself.
And when it comes to the choosing of the songs, which has been an issue for a couple of weeks, who chooses and I mean, who has the final say? And when you look at it, because once or twice you said this, sort of said, well, actually, you know, could have done something. You've got so many songs to choose from. where do you start?
Obviously, you get the themes for the weeks and stuff, and then you talk that through. So everybody will talk that through.
Career for you, you're going to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of knockbacks in my years, sort of doing it as an amateur singer in a band, you know, and this has really kind of spurred me on to definitely do something more, you know, and I'm loving every minute of it. And if I can carry on singing and do it anywhere, you know, then I definitely will.
And are we allowed to know what you're singing this weekend?
I don't think I can say, but obviously with
What sort of? Well, what's the theme?
It's Fright Night. It's Halloween, so
Thriller. That's the only thing I can think of.
Can you do Thriller?
possibly.
He couldn't possibly tell you. Okay. All right. Ben, good luck.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Really
Good
nice to
luck.
meet you both. Cheers.
Ben's going to be on the X Factor this Saturday at 8 o'clock on ITV.
Now here.